Quick snap!
This quick snap is another lost episode of film that I posted on my old YouTube channel of us utilizing Counter GT or Counter Trey in a Flexbone option offense. Counter GT is a great gap scheme that can give a Flexbone offense a way to send the fullback one way if teams are keying him, and then come back with pullers and one of your best ball carriers in one of your two slot backs within that Flexbone attack. So let's check out some diagrams and some film of us running Counter GT off Veer action. Briefly want to talk about how we were using Counter GT within a Flexbone option offense, why we were calling the play, and our rules for how we went about blocking it. First off, we were using it to give us misdirection off our initial triple option look, and then come back the other way when we were pretty sure defense was over pursuing with either inside linebackers keying the fullback or the secondary rolling. Our rules were center, play side guard, play side tackle, tight end. They were all on flat down to backer tracks. If something crossed their face on that down track, that's what they blocked. If nothing at the first level crossed their face, they continued to the next linebackers inside. Backside guards obviously pulling and kicking out. Backside tackle is pulling and wrapping for first linebacker in the box. And against a one high structure, we were typically counting on those linebackers keying the fullback. We're pretty sure they were extra fast to either the fullback or where the quarterback was opening. We would call counter. You'd get the linebackers all stepping to their right, and that would thin out the box. It would turn it into a 5-2 type box against an odd front, against a even front. That's going to turn it into a 4-3 or 4-1 type box, tackle to tackle. And that's going to create really good angles for our down blocks, for our tackle, wrapping up to those linebackers. Against a too high structure, we were calling it most times because where that quarterback opened, that fullback's track, that pitch motion, it was getting the secondary to roll, and either the safety is skying down to play force, or the corner is trying to set the edge in a cloud force type situation. And now when we come back to the opposite side, there's no overhang here. We might be able to gash them for a big gain to one of our speedy slots that are our potential home run hitter. First clip you're going to see, we're running Counter GT versus even one high team. It'll come to the right at the bottom of the screen here. There's the misdirection starting. See our guard and tackle pulling. Tight end's down block is not great. He should have his helmet across a little bit more, but he's on that kid's hip and he's washing him. Our tackle gets picked off by that. Again, we don't have a perfect down block there, but we do have both the linebackers are over the top. They're going the wrong way, and our slot makes a safety miss. Makes another guy at the next level miss, breaks a tackle, and now it's just him having to outrun everyone for the touchdown. Big play opportunity to get our slots chased there a touch. Next clip is Counter GT against even one high structure, and we got our split end over. Gives us numbers, gets that corner a little extra wide, and we're not great with our guard here by any means, but we got the wall of down blocks right now. Our tight end's washing that tight end. That defensive end. He's closing that C gap. The defense is working hard to squeeze our down blocks because they're worried about midline and inside Veer. Linebacker steps up. You can see our backside tackle pull. Doesn't get a great piece of him, but he's pinned him inside. We got our slot in a C motion on the outside linebacker, and that confuses our guard on this particular play. But right now we've got at least a first down. If we can make this safety miss, which we do, we just run past him, we're heading for a touchdown. Good run by Caleb there. One problem, though, with utilizing that tight end and down blocking a 7 technique like we do on this is that's just hard to do. So that's why on the original screen I had an arc block drawn up, because right now we're doing an okay job with everything. We're just not moving that tight end. That tight end keeps the inside leverage that he had on the tight end. That defensive end keeps the inside leverage on the tight end, and we don't really get anything going. The end zone shot, you see a nice alley open up, but we don't have the right angles for it. So tackles on his down track, his linebacker pulled his trigger, and right now the tight end's trying to wash that defensive end down. His pad level, maybe if it's lower he gets more movement, but bottom line, if that 7 technique is good at playing against pressure, he's going to be able to control all of that C gap, not let the edge melt. And when we try to wrap up through, our tackle gets picked off because our other tackle missed the linebacker. That defensive end has an angle to make a tackle on a ball for just a 3-yard gain. So that's why from then on we made a decision, let's have our tight end, unless we got like a 4 or 5 technique, if we're going against an even front, we're going to have our tight end arc, which also complemented the idea of, all right, if we get in our flex set, a split end and a tight end is really no different. They're either going to stalk the outside linebacker or stalk the corner based on what we game plan for that week. Here we are. The same problem essentially ends up happening with us running against an even 2 high structure. We get a good lane and we get a good gain, but we end up with a hold because of some leverage situations. Let's get to the end zone clip so you can see the hold unfortunately happened. So right now our tight end is kind of kicking that defensive end's butt. We got our wall of down blocks working, our tackles down. All that's left is this inside linebacker. He steps up. And right now we still have a play, but it's a little bit cloudy for our guard, which makes it cloudy for our slot. If our slot hits it right here, I really like our chances of scoring, because we're going to have the tackle left over for the safety. But we end up having a bad angle on the outside linebacker, so our guard wrestles him down. So the big gain that we ended up getting should have been a touchdown anyways, and then on top of that it gets negated with the hold. So again, I think you're best off having that tight end arc to the second level. Ultimately, I would be bracketing that stacked linebacker. If that stacked linebacker steps in, I know that the tackle's going to get to him as the tight end. If that stacked linebacker steps out, I'm going to keep him out there, knowing that the tackle pulling through is going to be able to get up to that safety. Now, odd 1 high structure. Got it going one way. Okay kick out. Enough of an angle on everything, and then our slot goes to work. Unfortunately, we got a hold somewhere behind there, so this ends up getting called back. So we call it again 2 plays later. Let's go the other way. Again, not necessarily perfect, but we're getting the misdirection. Watch the linebackers. They're shuffling on the motion. Our tight end is going to have a great down block because he's got an angle. The other linebacker's so far out of the way, out of the play, he's not even going to matter. And we hit it. We could have a little bit better kick out with our guard putting his right shoulder on the kick out, but our slot makes it miss. Picks up a big gain. Could handle the ball a little better. Luckily, he's called down for us, and we're at the 1-yard line, able to punch it in later. Again, odd 1 high. This time we're not doing a split end over to the tight end side for the first time. You're going to get a good double team and down block wall. Here's our tackle washing a 4 technique. Tight end's on his down track to an inside linebacker. The linebacker's really stepped in the wrong direction. We got our kick out happening on 32. We got our pull and wrap by our tackle up on 55, it looks like there. And we got a solid first down gain of 19 yards. Fortunately, it was 1st and 20 because of a hold, so we're a little off schedule. Against the odd 2-high structure, we'll actually go to the split end side here, and this is solid when you get the secondary rolling to the motion. I believe they're a cover 0 situation here. You got the corner stepping up, maybe they're cover 2. We get a decent wall. We don't get this linebacker real good, but he was stepping the wrong direction, and we get a solid 6-7 yard gain by Tyler there. And lastly, counter to an odd 2-high structure, back to that tight end side. So we got down block by the tight end, down to backer by the tackle, guard washes the 1 technique. We've got our backside guard pulling and kicking number 87. Tackles up and through, really well drawn up, just the execution by the guard on the kick out. Again, it'd be nice if his helmet was upfield here. He's putting his right shoulder on the kick out. And the backside safety ends up sniffing it out, so we only pick up about 8 yards. So there you go. Counter GT within a flexbone attack. Great if linebackers are over pursuing when they're keying the fullback, or when the secondary is over rotating when they're keying the motion of triple option. Thanks for checking out this quick snap on Coaching Football with Brian Klee. Please follow me on Twitter at Coach Klee. Subscribe to the channel Coaching Football with Brian Klee by clicking down below. And if you have any further follow-up questions, email me at coachbrianklee@gmail.com.